Hey everyone, sitting here with my chief editor trying to get some videos put together here. I have been sick for the past few days. Haven't been able to get out and work on the car at all. Good news is our ball joints did show up. We've got two brand new Pro Forged Super Travel ball joints for the front end. So that's kind of why this video ends in kind of abruptly. I thought I was going to get back out the next afternoon to get these installed, get everything rocking and rolling, and unfortunately we have been sick. So he's helping me edit this video, and I'm hoping to get out maybe tomorrow. How's tomorrow sound? I think tomorrow. I don't think he knows. Hopefully we'll get out there tomorrow and get some more stuff done on it. And then we can upload a part 2 of getting the whole thing finished on the ground and getting to see it go up and down. What do you think? So here's part 1 of getting the passenger side all fitted up, cut up, and ready. I'll get out there and we'll knock the driver's side out and get it all assembled here soon. So enjoy. Say thanks for watching. Hey guys, well, with having the fuel system all sealed up and now we know we have a running and driving car, the next logical step for me really would be to start doing the floor. But I need to weld the rockers back together where we cut the floor out, the different layers of metal as they come together. I cut through all that, and I need to take the upper half and the lower half that originally kind of went like this together, and I cut right across here, so now they're just kind of like this. So now I got to take that and bring them back together and weld those together. That way I have something to start my floor off of, come off those rockers, and then come across over the transmission. A couple of tools that would make my life a lot easier for that are not here. They're at my buddy's shop. We're working on my best friend's truck out there, doing a bunch of body work, my body hammers, stuff like that, and a couple of my my small grinders are out there. It's an hour drive, so it's not quite a hop in the car and go get them. We're hoping to get back out to that shop here shortly and finish up the bed of that truck, get that all knocked out. So I'll be able to grab those tools and bring them back. In the meantime, though, I figured, what the heck? Let's throw some airbags on the front of this thing. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but today anyway, but at least get this tore down and we'll have an idea of what it's gonna take to get the airbag in and all together. All right, first thing, let's get the tire off. Now, in case you're wondering, those were just barely on there. That's why I'm using my little quarter guy there. All right. Get him out of the way. Now let's see what we're dealing with here. Not too bad of a mess. Rotors actually look like they're in pretty darn good shape, and one thing I can say is when I was driving it, I really didn't have any brake pulse in the front, so I think we're going to be in good shape on the rotors. Get a little bit better light in here. There we go. Yeah, now we see what we're doing. Another good thing is, looks like the ball joints have been replaced in this car once. The upper ball joint is a bolt-in ball joint. These are normally riveted in place. Let's see. What's that bottom one look like? That bottom one doesn't look too awful bad. So, first things first, we're going to get this spindle tore down and get the brakes tore off of it, and then we'll pop the upper and lower ball joints and see if we can't get this all tore apart. All right, so you guys seen, hopefully it picked up In the time lapse there, I backed off the upper and lower ball joint nuts and then cracked them with a hammer to pop the taper shafts out of the spindle. I did not remove them all the way. Do not remove those nuts all the way. If you do this, even if you're just changing a ball joint, do not take those nuts all the way off if the coil spring still has pressure on the lower control arm. It's a bomb. It is a bomb. Especially, this is a 6,000-pound car. These have heavier coil springs in the front of them than the average, even your average Fleetwood or Caprice or whatever. These front coil springs are heavier in this car. So any car, don't take that chance, okay? When you do this, you should have a floor jack under it. When you take those nuts out, put a floor jack under it, lift the spindle off, and then lower the floor jack. One thing we gotta do before we get to that point is we gotta remove the shock. So I'm thinking of it, I just had my spray here. This should be entertaining as all hell because these are the original shocks in this car. And yeah, they have definitely seen better days, so we might end up having to cut them out. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So we'll go ahead and get these shocks out of here. On that note, with the shock still in here, if you were to have taken that nut all the way off, even though this is going to try to come flying apart, the shock would stop travel at some point. Just like looking at my shocks on this car, I don't know if I trust them to hold that spring in place. So not worth it, guys. Just take your time, go slow. You know, don't hurt yourself. Just a custom car. Ain't worth hurting yourself over. So be safe, think safe when you're doing this kind of stuff. So, got the bottom bolts for the shocks out with no fanfare. That was nice, easy. Just impressive for as old as they are. The upper stud, not so much. And there are things I could do. You know, I could reach in through here and get a vice grip in through the coil and grab a hold of the shaft and then try to break this loose. But with as rusted as this is up here, it's just not worth messing with. So I went ahead, got the floor jack under the lower control arm, and we got a little bit of slack on this. So we can go ahead and get this upper ball joint removed. And we'll go ahead and take the upper control arm and get it up out of our way. Where's that nut? Okay, there's slack on. I just want to make sure there's slack on it. I don't need this thing come flying apart on me because I mentioned earlier about the shock arresting the travel of the spring. Well, even right now, that shock is loose. Like, that shock's not what's holding the spring back. Right now, what's holding the spring back is this bump stop right here that's underneath the control arm. That's what's holding the spring back. So, for us, right now the floor jack's holding it, but last thing we want is this thing flying apart and hurting me. I don't want to get hurt. So, should just grab the socket and the ratchet probably. They're still. And now I think we're just fighting the we're fighting the tension that bump stop had on it. Probably could have put a little bit more oomph on this thing. There we go. Okay. And while we're right here, I might as well just go ahead and take the nut for the lower ball joint off, and we'll just get the whole spindle out of the way. Pry bar here, just lift up on that, and then, there we go. I think the easiest route here is just going to go ahead and get in there with the cutoff wheel and just cut it right off there. So let's get that knocked out of there. So yeah, these are definitely the original shocks, and I don't feel bad for cutting them out because, yeah, they're really not. They weren't really doing a whole heck of a lot. So, got that out of the way. How convenient, they need a nice little hole right there for your airline to go through. So now we can go ahead and very slowly, very carefully let the lower control arm come down and get this coil spring out of here. As you can tell, it's still got some tension on it. So let's go ahead and ever so slowly let it come down. Yep. She's stuck. There we go. Coil spring, don't argue with me. I have bigger friends than this. You will come out of it. Stuck on that bump stop right there. There we go. Oh! Oof! One coil spring. We won't need that where we're going. Heck, to be honest with you guys, I'm thinking our airbag may fit in the original hole. We may not have to enlarge the hole on this. Usually on S10s, stuff like that, back in the past, you'd have to enlarge this hole, but I mean that hole's like that big. It's a pretty good sized hole, and we're not running massive airbags in the front of this. So if we were running a pair of SS8s in the front, yeah, we would probably be looking at enlarging that hole even more. But this one, we might get lucky. Get this old shock clip out of there. Now, the one thing I don't know about is whether or not our bag is going to be sitting high enough in that lower control arm. This pocket is surprisingly pretty deep, so I don't know, but there's one way to find out. We'll grab the bag and the cups real quick. One little air spring, cups. My bestest buddy in the whole wide world. I'm not saying that because he watches this every now and then. I'm saying that because it's the truth. he hooked me up with these airbags. I don't remember why he didn't want to run them on his little truck. I think it was because of the built-in air fittings in these guys. They have the air fitting is built into the airbag, so that may have been why he didn't want to run them. And I honestly, you know, for the life of me, I can't even remember whose bags these are. I'm pretty sure they're Slams, but they don't have a number or anything in them. Maybe there was something. I don't think there was anything up top that I missed. Let me look. So he hooked me up with these, and I can't thank him enough. Nope, no information on the top. I'm pretty certain these are Slams. I don't know what size, but he's like, "Hey, you want them?" And I said, "Heck yeah." They'll make good front bags for the Deadwood. So he hooked me up with them. Can't thank him enough for that. Dude's like my brother. He's also my tattoo artist, Robbie. Big shout out to you, man. But yeah, there's the new going in. So just for giggles, we'll go ahead and see if these will even fit in here. How much clearance we have on that bag and whatnot. Holy shit, yes. Yeah. Just setting that in there. Except for the back here, this back edge, I can put my finger almost all the way around that bag. This back inner lip needs to come out. I might open that up a little bit. But up here, there's tons of room in there. That makes me ecstatic. So, only minimal grinding up front. How about the bottom here? Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll work out great. That'll be a good height too. Very good height. So sweet. That makes me really happy. Our next step is going to be, we're gonna get rid of this bump stop right here. I'm torn if I want to pull this front bump stop, because that front bump, this top bump stop up here kind of limits your up travel. But if you remove that and it just goes metal on metal and it makes noise and sounds like crap, so nobody likes that. The sway bar should clear as well. I'd like to keep the sway bar on this car. I'm not looking to do much side to side, so I'm not worried about fighting a sway bar. It's just up and down. So we'll keep the sway bar in place. Yeah, it looks like the only thing we need to do is get rid of this inner lip. So I got this back lip all cut out. Got it all smoothed down. There's no sharp edges or anything in there. Do have this piece right here. I don't know if I want to. It's not really in the way, but it's. I don't know if I want to cut it out of there, or if I just want to hammer it over.
got it going back at a 45 now, away from the airbag. Other than that, that's I call that a win. If I only have to do that much grinding to get in there and open that up, man, that's a win in my book. Let's see, I don't know what's gonna get this little guy off. Probably not the socket I have laying around down here, so let me go grab a few more sockets. I'm only missing 2. So. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Let's see if this will come off of there. It is moving to a point. Yeah, because it's done playing nice. Okay. So I think saw is going to be the answer. Okay, got rid of that bump stop. That'll hopefully let us lay out a little bit lower. So yeah, okay. Give you guys a better look at the bag fitment. There it is. Where'd the airbag go? So put that up in there. And then sitting there in the coil pocket. Yeah, you can see we've got a surprising amount of room. I mean, I could put my hand all the way around the airbag. So I got a feeling this will live in there. So next up is wipe my face off. I'm gonna get you guys back up on the stand, and then we'll install the bag and put our spindle back up in here and check travel. Okay. Got the airbag kind of just chilling in there. We're gonna get that control arm to come up a little bit here for us. That should be enough for now. That squished in place. All right. And should have the floor jack out this way for all my tools and get this metal right here. So, oh. Making sure that cup is sitting in the coil spring pocket up the top there. Which it seems to be. So, looks pretty good like that. Sorry, debating on whether I should put run a piece of airline in there and kind of have it set up to where I can inflate it here. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. There. Okay. Get our lower nut. And we're just tightening this down and tight. Just want to eliminate any play, any slop in it. This upper one, since we had to fight it a little bit with the control arm bushings. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, cycling the suspension a little bit. Now I know that this is not gonna be enough to lay frame. That's your frames. Easy. Yeah, still got weight on the, okay. Making sure I got weight on the jack stands. There's no air in the bag right now. I know you're from Harbor Freight, but chill. Anyway, frame's right about there. So we're gonna draw an imaginary line. Excuse me. Yeah, right about there. Yeah. That's not gonna clear. Maybe if I had some little 13-inch Daytons on here, we would clear, but the 17s, it's not gonna happen. So that's okay. We got two things we need to take care of when we take this all back apart. One, there is a slight hump in this control arm right here, and the frame actually humps down right here. So one of these two items, or both, are gonna have to be eliminated. And also, as you can see back here, we're making contact in our pocket right here. So we're going to have to open that pocket up right there to allow the control arm to come up further, which is what's holding us up right now. And then also, we're getting right at the limit of articulation for this upper ball joint. All right, we're back out here on the Deadwood. Got two things we need to cover today. Gotta get that pocket trimmed, and then we gotta get this frame lip trimmed out. Now we have clearance for the bag. Plenty of clearance for the bag, no problem there. I still need to open the frame up though, because on this side, which you can't see because the rotor's in the way, it's hitting, or it will be hitting the control arm. The frame and the control arm are going to not be friends here. So I'll start tearing this down while I chat. We're gonna go ahead and make some room on that frame for the control arm to swing up even higher. After we clear that pocket and get the frame trimmed, the lower control arm will be able to come up much higher and get the center of this hub. We need the center of the hub like here. We're not gonna make it right now. So yeah, we're definitely maxing that ball joint out, which is the next topic, is the upper ball joint. That is causing us some headache as well. And my original thought was, maybe we'll just run some heavy duty Hoppos ball joints. Hoppos sells a ball joint. It's meant more for hydraulics, but it's a extremely heavy duty ball joint, and it's more or less a Heim joint. So you'd have a Heim joint sitting up here, sandwiched into the control arm, and then you use a 5/8 bolt. You drill the top of the spindle out to a straight 5/8 shank. Put a 5/8 bolt with a spacer through the spindle here, and a nut. And that does two things. One, gives you tons of articulation, tons of movement. Two, they last almost forever. very rare do you see the ball joint fail. Typical failure is actually in the bolt. The bolt is pretty much the weakest link at that point in that system. Now for air ride, that really wouldn't be a problem because we're not gonna put this system to the stresses that a hydraulics car would. We're not hopping this thing. We're not trying to send the girl to the moon or anything. So, we're just looking for articulation. But my friend Robbie, he turned me on to some Pro-Forged ball joints. Pro-Forged actually sells a extended travel ball joint where, see it, there we go. This ball joint, the cup is straight with the flange. The Pro-Forged ball joint, the cup is actually tilted this way in the flange. So that way when it's sitting like this, the ball joint's actually almost all the way like that. And then when this thing airs out, the control arm goes up, there's more room for the ball joint to articulate that direction, and it's going to allow you to lay down further. That's what we're going to go with, primarily due to price. The Pro-Forged ball joints are about $70 a piece, 65, 70 bucks, where the Hoppos are like $360 for a pair. If I was running juice on this car, I would probably just say fucking go with the Hoppos. Even though Pro-Forged does offer a 1,000,000-mile warranty on their ball joint. I wonder if that applies to hydraulics as well. But not gonna be a concern. I don't need the Hoppos ball joints in this car. It was just my first option, my first thought when I needed an extended travel ball joint. That was my first thought. Pro-Forged is gonna get us there where we need to be. They should be here in a couple days. It is New Year's in like 2 days. I think today's Monday, so I don't know when I'll have this video all put together. I think they'll be here Thursday, like the day after New Year's. So, in the meantime, though, we got a couple things we need to accomplish. Like I said, we got to cut that spring pocket out. And then we have to trim the frame. You can see right here, we got this dip right here. We need to get rid of that because that's going to come in contact with the control arm. There is an ever so slight hump in this control arm. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if I'm going to need to de-hump this control arm. I don't think it's going to be a necessity. I am going to leave the steering stop here. It's not in our way yet. I may trim down the back side of the steering stop. That way it'll come up in the frame. And for time being, I may get rid of my sway bar. I got the other side disconnected. I may just drop the bolts and drop the sway bar out of my way. So right now, my number one goal, we're gonna get the upper ball joints removed, just get them out of the way. Actually, we'll leave them until the new ones get here, just so I can test articulation again. But primarily our big thing is we're gonna get this control arm dropped out of here, get our air spring out, get the pocket back there opened up, and then get this frame trimmed up and see where all that ends up. Okay, so we got our pocket all cut out. Probably went a little bit more than I needed to, but that's okay. I'd rather get out of my way, and then maybe down the road I can run a bigger bag if I want. I do need to, you can see about hammering that little spot right there down. I want to take a break before I went to cutting this out because I wanted to bring up a really good point. anytime you guys have corners, make sure they're rounded. Okay, a rounded corner like that is less likely to crack. Granted, this outside of this frame right here, we got so much material here. We got the two lower pockets that are tied together from the factory. There's a cross brace here. And then the cradle comes in and meets this, so that you get all this material and all this strength right here. So I'm not worried about taking out the material we took out. I mainly just, like I said, the big thing I want to do is get rid of this hump right here. And a little bit right there. But mainly that big hump. But I'm not too worried about taking away material, because we have a lot of stuff back here to keep this all strong, but still round those corners off. And when I do this, I'm going to mark out where I need to cut, and then in the corners I'm going to drill a hole, and then connect those holes with the cutoff wheel, so that way those corners are nice and radiused and they're not going to crack. I don't want them ripping, I don't want them cracking. I'm going to keep them nice and strong. This spot right here, I'm probably going to take these upper ears right here off as well. Just going to lop them off, just to give me the most possible room. There's one thing I am a little concerned with, and that is, let me get the light up in there for you guys to see. We have this funky little spot right here. I may end up hammering that down flat. I'm going to put the bag up in there. I didn't notice it at first. Make sure the bag's not going to rub on that, but I may end up just smacking that flat. Make sure it's not going to hit the bag. Anything and everything we can do right here, right now, to prevent the bag from rubbing any sharp points. You really want to be able to just, you want to be able to run your hand all the way around here. Yeah, wear a glove at first in case there is any sharp edges, but you want to rub your hand around here. Make sure you're not going to catch on anything, because that's going to catch on your bag. And it's no fun having a blown bag on the side of the road. Then go through, I'm going to drill my 2 holes in that pocket, notch it out, smack that hump down. And also, one thing, this car does not have ABS. The commercial chassis did not come with ABS. If this was a Fleetwood, it would have ABS. But this one is not a Fleetwood, so we do not need that pointy tab or the bolt sticking into our spring pocket. So that's just one more thing we can get out of the way in preparing for the bags to go in. Got our spring pocket all cut out there. And I got this pocket notched out real nice. Got this one cleaned up too. So we should have a fair bit more travel now. So let's go ahead and pop our control arm back up in there. And we'll see what happens. With any luck, should get down to a much more appropriate travel. Okay, that's in. Oh shit, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I see here. We gotta turn that up a little bit for you guys. There we go. I can get a little more light in here. Oh yeah. That's hitting all the happy spots right there. That's beautiful. Crap, sorry about that. Oh no, I think my camera stand just died on me. I think I'm gonna be serious about doing this. It's time for a new one of these anyway. Okay, there we go. Put the light over here. Now we get a better view of things. Oh yeah. I think we're just running into the corner right here. I might nib that off. Just because, just get this little corner, smack that off of there because it's just hitting the control arm right there. But other than that, hopefully that'll be enough. Now I may go ahead and just put the spindle back on and see if that's going to give me enough height to lay out. We'll do the math real quick and figure out what we need. So, I don't know. But let me get that nipped off there and we'll see what we do next. For giggles, we're going to go ahead and reassemble everything and kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here. I do see where the control arm, like right here on the side, there's a little tiny spot right here it's hitting, but this part of the control arm is about, more, maybe a quarter inch away from contacting the frame. So I'm really not that worried about it. Just snugging those down. They're not tight, but it's close enough. All right, one other thing I want to do, probably should do that before, maybe, I don't know. One of the things I want to do is I want to drill a hole inside of this cup. I'm gonna bring the air line right into the cup. I'll probably do that before I do my final assembly. I do want to break all this down, hit it with the wire wheel, and at least just give it an aerosol overhaul. Just, make everything black in here. Just hit it with the wire wheel real quick, paint it all black, and put it back together. So this is just one last test fit, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in the side of this and it should work out quite well because there's a hole right here. Oh, I can bring the airline through the frame, bring it in through here, and then slide that up into the truck or into the pocket and bolt it in place. Then my airline will be secured to the side. I don't have to worry about it being out here. Then it can run right to the frame and come out where we welded in the transmission crossmember. So I don't think that'll be a good idea. All right, let's get our brake caliper back down and out of the way. I don't think my hanger's doing much good here. There's a decent rust hole there. That'll keep it out of the way. Okay. So, got our nut. A line right there, and a line right there. Oh, that's perfect. You're definitely gonna need to cut that ball thread down. Center, that's about pretty good right there. Pretty happy with that spot. Okay, so Let me make sure bag nice and secure in there. Go ahead and bring our floor jack back into play. Yep. Yeah. I like that a lot better. I just having the bag bolted in makes me feel a ton better. All right. Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's see. Big nut there. Again, just hand tight. That's all we're going for right now. I could just raise the floor jack up, but that works too. All I need to do is capture the stud here. There we go. So we'll run the floor jack up and see how much clearance we have. Get that out there. Yeah, there we go. That's a little further out of the way. See how much clearance we got now. I should say clearance. I should say travel. See how much travel we have now. All right. That's if we don't. Especially if we don't launch the floor jack off the control arm there. All right, that is bottomed out into the frame there. We're just putting a little bit of weight on the, or taking a little bit of weight off the floor jack. Yeah, okay, took a lot of weight off the floor jack. But, oh yeah, and that's just now starting to bind on that. That upper ball joint there, it's getting pretty tight. But let's see what we got now as far as that's about center in the hub there. Drawing an imaginary line. About there, about 13 inches. Roughly from the bottom of the frame up, we got about 13 inches. So, to the center here. So that means about a 26-inch tall tire we will lay out. Find my phone. Oh! 225/50 R17 tire has the following dimensions in inches. Diameter 25.86. So that should fly. Wifey's calling. Give me a smile. That should be damn close to laying out. Within about a ½ inch of laying out, which I'm okay with the ½ inch. The other thing too is being 25 and a half, whatever it was, tire. We'll just call it 26. So just touching the inside of the wheel tub here, and we're reading 13 inches on the tape right there. So even though I do plan on taking the wheel tub out, because somebody in its previous life, not too sure what happened up here, but somebody beat, I don't know if you could, it's really picking up on camera. I'll show you actually from up top. Okay. I'm not too sure what they had here at one point in time, but you can see where somebody had hammered this area right here down. Looks like they had a couple things screwed down. That being said, I do know at one point in time this car used to do SBL competition, which is why the roof braces were cut out of it. Which I don't know why they cut the roof braces out. That would keep the roof from wiggling, but whatever. So my guess, battery being there, I'm assuming they probably had some sort of fuse block or something going there, and they looks like they got into the right above that. They got into the hood insulation there too. So my assumption is they had something bolted there, whether it be a fuse block or distribution block of some sort. That and these, hope I can bring the light with me. These wheel tubs, well, they're starting to rust. Let's see, yeah, there's more rust on here. And they're not exactly symmetrical. You know, they got their lumps and bumps and whatnot in there. So I figure I'll just cut these out, and we'll probably put some trailer fenders in up there, because I don't want, you know, the road splash and whatnot. I really don't want it getting all over the motor. And you start damaging things like the alternator, getting it soaked all the time, stuff like that. I am keeping the air conditioning, power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir. This coolant reservoir is probably going to get moved further forward. The batteries are getting relocated to the back of the car. So this coolant reservoir will be able to get located further forward, and we'll be able to put a nice wheel tub up in here. Worst case, if needed, if I do need to cut some more, and I may do this before we're finalized, but you can see here, we're now touching here. And then on this side, while it is tucking up into the cut out there, we're just coming in contact back here. So possibly flattening out these control arms is an option, or opening the spring pocket up a little bit more is another option if I need to lay out further. So we will see. The big question right now is what are our ball joints going to give us? If our ball joints going to give us any more, probably not, but he said we're within a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of laying out. I could take a 1/2 inch, especially with that size tire. I like that size tire. It looks good. Makes my little 17 look a little bit bigger than it actually is. These aren't bad looking American Racing rims. Yeah, they've got some metal dust and rust on them, but they're actually aluminum. I think they'll polish out real nice, and then maybe we can fill these darts in with some black, maybe the back of the rim black, and have a polished face. It'd look good for the time being until I get some wires under it, but I've got quite the mess to clean up, so I'm going to take a moment to do that, and then it's going to be rinse and repeat on the driver's side until we get the new ball joints. And yeah, that's as far as I got. So here soon we'll get part 2 up. You're gonna let me get out there and do some more work? Yeah, he's gonna let me get out there and do some more work on it, hopefully tomorrow, like I said, and we'll get the next part of the video up. So thanks for watching.